Techsauce Global, sparking innovative thoughts. Hi, I'm Chao Ratchungjaran, or you can call me Pupe. I'm the global content editor for Techsauce Media. I caught up with Neal Cross at Techsauce Global Summit 2019. Now, Neal Cross is a person who has garnered great respect from both the startup and corporate worlds. He's literally been called the most disruptive Chief Innovation Officer for his role in making DBS Bank recognized worldwide for its digitization agenda.
People confuse innovation and technology or innovation and apps. And the fact that I could take, the corporate innovation techniques and take them into a completely different world, which is, building a hotel in the middle of the jungle and setting up an ecosystem to help save the orangutans, really gave me the confidence that, I could innovate anything.
Is it because you just had a realization that you just kind of your time was, you just had enough of the finance sector?
No, not at all. It's just I built this beautiful beach house, and then every Sunday, I'd have to leave there and then spend 12 hours traveling, go back to DBS, and continue my work there. But I spent 5 years there. We took the innovation team from a table of 3 people into world-renowned corporate innovation center with over 30 staff and labs around the Asia region. And at the same time, I co-founded my own fintech down in Australia. So I wanted to try my hand at building my own fintech company as well. So I had a lot of things kind of come up at the same time. One was, I really loved this beautiful house I'd built on a beach, and I could swim with the turtles every day. And secondly, I wanted to try and build my own fintech company. And thirdly, I had a lot of people approach me. I love solving problems, and approach me from different industries around Asia and say, hey, can you come and do some problem solving for us? Maybe do some advisory work. And so they all come together. I thought, well, 5 years is a good run. And, it's always good to leave on a high. And, it's not as if I'm going to spend the rest of my life in one company anyway. I've moved many times around the world. So I thought I'll take a leap of faith. Very scary. Leaving such a prominent, a managing director role at bank is fairly well paid. And just leaping off and going and doing something new.
That's really funny because you said that you were afraid. This is something that usually would happen for people who are maybe in an earlier stage of their career. I mean, you're really well seasoned. You could do anything. So
well, you can, but as you get older, I think you get a little bit more. You like a bit more of the comforts of life, but not on me. I mean, I live in the jungle, but still, it's it's a lot of it's a very high profile role, and moving from there into a small fintech and running my foundation is less of a high profile role. And so I think with any change, there's always a certain level of fear, but thankfully I'm a pretty brave person. But to your point earlier, did I feel that there's only so much time in that? Absolutely, yeah. I can't understand people who, I meet so many people and they say, oh, one day I'll do what you do, yeah. And I know that one day will never come for them, yeah. There is no one day, there is only today, yeah. There is no guarantees in life, yeah. There's no guarantees you're going to live to, retirement at 65 or 70. There's no guarantees you'll be healthy enough to do something that you've always wanted to do. So my belief is always, just do it now, yeah, while you still can.
In your opinion, with your experience on the current corporate strategy that has been taken by companies, where do you think we are right now?
We get confused. A lot of people are confused with all the noise out there, thinking technology is the problem solver. No, it isn't, yeah. It's what solves problems is either business model innovation, pricing model innovation, distribution model innovation, and that's where we should be focusing. And so people are running too quickly to do stuff on tech without just sitting back and thinking, firstly, have I got the right problem? I see so many people solving the wrong problem. Or they solve the symptom of the problem. They don't really dig into the problem and really get to the core of the mechanic of the thing. So innovation for me is find the right problem, solve it in an elegant manner. Now, elegance doesn't mean it has to be beautiful, but it better not be ugly, better not be clunky, yeah? And also don't over-engineer. I see lots of startups using huge AI systems when they could have used 4 lines of code. Yeah,
So when you say elegant, that means like just make it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. I mean, if it's a complex one, it might be complex, but make it fit beautifully the problem you're trying to solve. Yeah, don't over-engineer, don't overspend, don't over-feature, and the final thing, it has to be successful.
Do you think maybe that's one of the biggest challenges for corporates, or the traditional corporate way of thinking? Because like electricity, as you said, is not changing. The technology is ever changing.
Yeah.
And it's like it's territory that's never been covered before.
No, I don't think the problem, all this wave of digital disruption is not about technology. It's the single fact, unhappy customers. That's it, yeah. That all companies, I feel, nearly all companies have lost sight of their business they're in. They're only in one business. Whatever industry they're in one business, and that business is the business of solving their customers' problems. They've lost sight of that. They think they're in the business of selling products, yeah? Selling cars, selling credit cards, monetizing their clients. No, they're wrong, yeah? The job of a bank is not to sell credit cards, loans, car insurance, health insurance, life insurance. No, not at all, yeah? From a customer's perspective, a bank gives them their kids' education. So it gives them a savings fund. It helps them protect the people they love. It gives them life insurance. It solves their transport problems. It gives them a car loan. And so that was the problem, that other people have come in and solved the customer's problems better. And that's what we're seeing. And so again, this whole thing around disruption, people are putting technology first, when actually just go back to the basics. What problem are you meant to be solving as a business? And then the second thing really is focus on your staff, yeah? I mean, look at the corporate world. Whoever invented corporate work should be shot. I mean, really, most people I talk to do a job they're uninspired with, some even hate it, work with people they don't even like, and get micromanaged by a boss they don't respect. It's madness. It's absolute madness. And who set this up? I just want to find them and tell them how unhappy I am with them. 'Cause guess what? We did it to ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the madness of it, yeah. And that's the core things that need to change.
Is it like a security blanket, do you think, that people cling to because it's safe? It's something that, it's like, okay, we're used to the way things are.
Oh, yeah, nobody wants to change.
Yeah.
Well, they do, but they just don't want the effort and the impact of what change really means. And also, there's so many people that call themselves leaders if they're managers, yeah. If you really want to change things, you have to have some level of bravery. And actually, it isn't tomorrow; it's today. You go out and make that a better place, for the people who work with you. I mean, a good thing I talked about yesterday. So imagine you've got say, I'll use a bank term. You've got a division in a bank, credit card division. Yeah, there's 1,000 people in there, and the boss at the top, he says, right, we need a new credit card. I've been in credit cards for 20, 30 years. And I know what we want. We need these features, but I'll go and check. I'll talk to Visa and MasterCard because they're experts. And okay, I know what features you want. Right, you 999 of my staff, go and execute this. What a waste of 999 brains.
Talking about the organization of the company, usually what I see from my experience, which not as much as yours, but I mean, it's like you either have the top management wanting to do something, and then very innovative. Let's say being a leader, true leadership, like having exactly the thoughts that a leader should have, but then having problems getting their team or their company to go with it, or on the other hand, you have innovators within the company, which has been talked a lot about at this summit, but they have a struggle with the entire company.
Yeah, well, they get rejected by the organisation. So there's 2 points there. So firstly, the mistake the leaders make, again, it's that one concept I gave you. They're the brain at the top, and they expect everyone to execute. No. Get your staff involved in the innovation design process. When I was at DBS, every year we'd take the team away, and they would define the strategy. Even the intern would be feeding in. We'd get post-it notes, we'd come up with what worked well, what didn't work well, what we achieved this year, and the whole team would design the strategy. I mean, that seems to me like the operating model that every company should be using, yeah? Because, of course, they bought in. And you see the same problem inside a company where an innovator is trying to operate. They go and invent something cool, and they take it into the business. And the business go, well, I wasn't part of this, so why should I implement it? Mm-hmm. So you've got the same mechanic happening. Mm-hmm. Also, the job of an innovator is not to invent stuff. I've never invented anything at DBS. The innovation group never invented anything. Mm-hmm. Our job was to turn the whole bank into the innovation group. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you an example. Imagine, let's use a header cards again. So I used to run Mastercard Labs, so I know a little bit about credit cards. So imagine I spent a lot of time inventing an amazing credit card, really, really cool credit card. And then I took it to the head of credit cards and go, hey, look what I invented, we should do this. What do you think I've just told that person?
They really don't know exactly what you mean. Because
I'm better than them.
Yeah, oh yes.
And they've done their job badly.
Yes.
And everyone's going to know.
Yeah.
So what happens? Of course, the head of cards makes sure that's never going in production. And then we'll start a long-term strategy to discredit me.
Human nature.
Yeah, that's right. So as an innovator, you've got to be smart, about how you get this stuff done. You just can't build stuff and run around and show people all your little trinkets and stuff like that. That's not how to be successful at corporate innovation. You've got to really understand how people work and corporates work.
I mean, the struggle that we have here in Thailand specifically is, I think, more of a different, age difference. There's a lot of respect in Thai culture for seniors, and it seems like some companies are changing, some are not. If you're the new generation, you'd know okay, this is traditional, which the majority is traditional, where you can't really,
talk leaders,
talk about new ideas.
Yeah.
And if you do, or you're educated overseas, they see you as a not disrespectful and everything. How do you because I think that's a big problem that we've seen in Thailand.
Yeah.
What is the solution for this?
I mean, it's the same in Singapore as well, to a lesser degree. It's the same in lots of Asian culture, and the same in Western cultures not that long ago, before they invented rock music. But that's why you have to change your innovation processes, your structures, And that's why we do a lot of things with workshops with post-it notes that we don't know whose idea that was. So if individually you write a little idea fragment on a post-it note, they go into the middle of the table and they all get grouped together, you don't know who that was. And so you've got to cater your innovation programs and processes to suit that culture like that. Mm-hmm. And then it's really, it's the leaders that need to encourage the most junior people to be part of that. So you do things like reverse mentoring. But at the end of the day, there is a culture of micromanagement, and that is killing innovation. Mm-hmm. And also, it's not making life that enjoyable at work.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand it. If you hire someone that you need to micromanage, why did you hire them? My thing is, there's 4 things I give as a leader. One is protection, which means anything that happens for the people who work for me is my fault. So if somebody says, hey, one of your team, blah, 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 okay, yeah, I'm sorry, it's my fault. Mm-hmm. I've had this conversation quite a few times with the leaders. No, Neal, I don't like you, it's fine, you don't need to apologise. No, it's my fault. Yeah, and that's important. You need to create a safe place for them. Secondly is you need to give them freedom. I've told my team, hey, if you can do your job for the whole year in one day, please take the rest of the year off. Yeah? I joke, obviously they can't do it in one day. But the point is, there's some things I need you to do for the company, and the rest of the time, hey, invent some new programs, go check some startups, go learn some stuff, go to some conferences, I'm not your parent, And third is education, and teaching them skills you don't normally learn. Like I teach the innovation team sales skills, we teach them advertising, we teach them how kind of corporate politics works, that kind of stuff. And the final thing is inspiration. And so everything you do, you should be aiming to be world-class, to find what's the best example of the thing you're trying to achieve in the world. So at least you might not get there, but occasionally you will, and you will create something which gets recognized globally.
How do you keep people accountable if you want to have, there's a balance, right?
Well, they write their own KPIs, so that's one of the things. Well, you write your own KPIs, so you account yourself. The more you lead, the less you have to manage, I find, because people self-manage. If they're inspired and they feel they're protected, they're educated, and they trust their leader, they manage themselves. They account for themselves. It's when you micromanage them, you actually make the problem worse.
Talking about accelerators, there's been an observation that it might not be the way to go in terms of finding the right partnership between corporates and startups. Do you think that they're still worth it?
There's lots of variations of accelerators. It really depends. So if you're a corporate who doesn't know anything about startups, doesn't have a startup team, sponsoring an accelerator is a great way to get into it, yeah? And make sure you send some of your execs to spend time and coach the startups. It depends what you want of accelerator. If you are just going there to find a new product for your business, then you have lost so much of the potential value of that. We find the real value is executives spending time with startups, coaching them, learning their culture, how they think, how they operate, how they think about customers, solving problems, and being part of a startup and VC community. That really is the real influence, the real outcome. There's a lot you have to rewire in a corporate to make it successful work with startups, because corporates will talk startups to death. Literally talk them to death. So startups go, oh great, this person from this bank's talking to me, oh this is our big opportunity, blah, blah, blah. And it could go on for months and months and 6 months, and they're burning cash, we're going to get this big deal. And they say, oh, you're going to buy? And the person from the bank's like, oh no, sorry, I was just learning, we don't even have a project. And so that's the issue. So you have to rewire, you have to educate your corporate staff. One, you have to reduce their ego. That's the first thing. So the trouble is executives, like in the example, they, a lot of the time they say, I know best. I know this industry. I've been doing it for 30 years. I know best. A startup's not going to know better than me. So you've got to reduce that ego down so they accept that the solution to their problem is outside the company. That's the first thing. Secondly, you have to rewire whole parts of the company. Yeah, they used to take like 9 months to onboard a startup. We reduced that to 8 weeks. So we had to, create a fast-track process through legal, compliance, risk, cybersecurity, technology. There's all these kind of hurdles they have to go through, and there's rules in procurement like you can't work with a company that doesn't make a profit. Well, that's half the startups. Second rule, you can't work with a company that's been in business less than 2 years. That's the other half of the startups. And so there's actually a lot which a lot of these accelerators don't understand.
So where is the Thai ecosystem at right now in terms of accelerators?
Not a great place.
I had that feeling too.
No, and I say that because there's quite a few of us in the community that have some concern. Yeah, the funding's gone down. I mean, look at Vietnam. Vietnam's skyrocketing in terms of inflow of funds. Thailand's actually receding. So I think there's a lot of great startups. There's a lot of people here trying to make it successful, but it just seems the money isn't coming in. Yeah, and a lot of the ideas here tend to be too local, without a global kind of lens. So events like this are critical. Now I have full confidence. I know Thai people are incredibly innovative. I mean, some of the companies that are here, are amazing. I know that Thai people are incredibly creative and very smart. But there needs to be more kind of structure, education, government support, all this kind of stuff to truly help accelerate the Thai startup community.
It goes back to the main foundation of where it all starts. Okay. I
think it's going okay. I just think the other countries are doing better.
I'm trying to I can't help but compare in terms of like, maybe is it the society, the culture, or is it the government? I don't want to get into politics, but like, maybe is it the way of thinking, the way of, do you notice a difference between like, let's say people in Vietnam and here in Thailand? Or the way that they view things? Because obviously you are right, there is a lot of inwards, looking inwards into the market. Thais tend to not want to go overseas, even though We hear a lot of people
Well,
talking
probably
about
because
that.
you get so many overseas people coming over here. You know, I don't want to go to where they come from.
Oh, yeah, maybe we're spoiled.
I mean, there's a lot that can be done to change that. You know, obviously, if you look at the success of Singapore, you know, which obviously has its problems as well, but the government were very joined up in their thinking and their action in driving that. You know, even down to working with the large corporates and getting, you know, everything aligned to make that environment incredibly easy to start a business, get funding, and because Singapore's quite small, you tend to get a lot of them would look outside and, you know, natural kind of trading hub mentality. You know, they have other problems as well. You know, I'd say that Thai people are probably a bit more innovative than you know, other places in the region. I think it's the structures, support the education. You know, there's some good accelerators here. There's some good co-working spaces, but it's for the size of the population. You know, it's going the right way, but you know, it needs to
Everybody
have
on board.
more structure.
I
Yeah,
think.
it needs everyone on board. Yeah.
Yeah.
To make it successful.
What is your advice for a corporate here in Thailand? And what is your advice for a startup
For
right
a
now?
corporate here in Thailand? Okay. Yes. You know, the game is on in Southeast Asia. You've got people like Grab and Gojek and others, you know, expanding out across and moving into different industries. And then at the same time, you've got the Chinese coming in, mainly with their money, the Tencent, the JDs, the Alibaba and others. And so no matter how comfortable and safe you think you are, you're not. And you need to really jump into digitization, but in a thoughtful way. And think about using this as an opportunity. So if all bets are off and anyone can enter anyone else's industry, then how can you do the same? And how can you get scale across Southeast Asia? Yeah. And, you know, focus on your number one asset, which is your staff. Secondly, for startups, you know, I tell this story to startups. I first told this when I was in India, doing a talk over there. You know, people the question was something like, where do I start doing a startup? I go, okay. So in India every year there's 100,000 startups get formed. So 100,000 startups can build an app. So they can show they have enough technical proficiency to build an app. Okay. The 9 out of 10 startups fail. And so we have 10,000 startups then from the 100,000. 10,000 didn't initially fail, and they built something that customers used and liked. Yeah, so they could prove they could build a good experience. Of those, maybe 10 ended up massively successful, you know, worth several $100 million or $1 billion. Yeah, they proved that they had a really powerful business model. And so the three things: business model, great experience that people love, and an app. Which of those three things do you think you should do first and get right? The business model.
Oh, business.
So why does everyone build an app first?
You can see it.
Yes.
It's something
So
tangible.
before you write a line of code, work out your business model. And then just get a new one if it doesn't work. The thing I find, people get too passionate, they build for them. Oh, because I've got this problem, then it'd be great if it would be solved. Then I build some code to solve it, and that's great. Without just, actually, you're not in the business of solving your problems. You're in the business of building $1 billion company. And so just keep trying business models and testing them out on paper, you know, first to get that thing, and then incur cost by using, you know, building out your technology.
Very good advice. And lastly, I'm sure a lot of people want to know about you. What's your next step? I mean, you've got your orangutans, you've got your house in the jungle.
Beach, yeah.
What lies for you in the
So
future?
there's, you know, kind of four problems. There's 3 problems, and I've done one of them now. So the 3 things I've been trying to solve is, one is to build the world's most innovative bank, which that's kind of gone. So secondly, I want to save Southeast Asia's land and sea animals. So my one property with the orangutans, another one looking after reefs, and that'd be Accelerate. I'm looking at building out an NGO after I've, you know, now done my foundation. And the third original one was I want to bring financial happiness to the world. And so banks, should be financially educating and helping people achieve what they need to live in their life. But generally, banks tend to sell products to customers and make money. And so Picture Wealth down in Australia, it took a couple of years to build. We've been open for business just over 6 months, and we've gone from zero to $500 million of funds under management, which is incredibly quick because we did the business model first. So
Good point.
we want to scale that out across Southeast Asia, and really enables people to bring all of their finances into a single picture. Every single thing you have, and it's the only platform in the world that does that, and then we try and help you be better at that. Yeah, and obviously we sell, pensions and life insurance and other things. And then I've got another project to swap out the world's most innovative bank. Let's tick that off. I think we can say that's a win. Is to make corporate work life a better place. Yeah. So how do we, turn it from a place where people don't like going to, doing things that uninspire them with people that they really dislike, and turn that into a place where more people are enjoying what they do.
Oh my goodness, you've got a lot to do.
That's all right.
And you've
I
done
don't
a
have
lot
to.
as well.
Yeah.
You're saving the orangutans, you're saving the sea, and you're saving us from the corporate.
No, I might not achieve it.
Corporate health.
But you just got to try, yeah?
Okay.
There's no point in going small with these things, I find.
No point. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed it so far.
Thank you.
Well, that was our talk with Neal Cross. From orangutans to helping innovation prosper in a corporate world, we hope you got something out of it. For more on innovative thoughts changing the world, go to techsauce.co or follow our podcast. Until next time, bye. Techsauce, sparking innovative thoughts.